At least 6 people were killed and dozens more injured after Israeli airstrikes hit the Yemeni capital of Sana'a. Israel's military said it struck Yemen's Azar and Hizaz power plants, calling them a significant electricity supply facility for military activities. Residents of the capital said they heard explosions close to a closed military academy and the presidential palace. The attack comes days after the Houthi rebels fired a missile towards Israel that its military described as the first cluster bomb that rebels had launched at it since 2023. The Houthis have launched missiles and drones towards Israel and targeted ships in the Red Sea for more than 22 months, saying they were attacking out of solidarity with Palestinians and the ongoing war in Gaza. Deputy head of the Houthi media office, Nasruddin Ammar, said attacks on Israel would continue until military operations in Gaza stopped.
At least 64 Palestinians were killed in Israeli attacks across Gaza over the past 24 hours. Medical sources in Gaza hospitals say at least 16 were killed on Sunday, including 7 aid seekers. They were traveling through a military zone south of the Strip, headed to the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation hub near Khan Yunis, when Israeli soldiers opened fire on them. The Gaza Health Ministry says at least 2,000 Palestinians seeking aid from the group have been killed and some 14,000 others were wounded. Meanwhile, an already dire humanitarian catastrophe continues to worsen as 8 more Palestinians, including 1 child, died of starvation on Sunday. It brings the total malnutrition-related deaths to 289, including 115 children. The UN stresses many more are at risk of imminent death, as it warns that 90% of the roughly 2 million population are facing starvation. Israeli attacks, which have so far killed close to 63,000 Palestinians, have been intensifying ahead of an imminent planned occupation of Gaza City.
Ukraine on Sunday marked Independence Day, commemorating its 1991 declaration of independence from the Soviet Union, with President Volodymyr Zelensky vowing to fight to defend the country. In a defiant speech, Zelensky said each day Kyiv was pushing back against Russian forces to ensure peace in Ukraine.
Сьогодні Україна відзначає День Незалежності, воюючи, захищаючись під ударами, під тривогами, але сильною і, що дуже важливо, не наодинці. І кожного дня все більше повертаючи цю війну туди, звідки вона до нас прийшла. В російське небо і на російську землю. І з кожним кроком цієї війни там, з тиском на Росію, з їхніми реальними втратами, ми знаємо, що мир для України стає ближче.
U.S. Special Envoy Keith Kellogg and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney were part of the dignitaries at the anniversary. At a joint briefing, Carney announced military aid to Kyiv worth $2 billion Canadian dollars.
We're investing today $2 billion in new military assistance for Ukraine. $800 million of this will help strengthen Ukraine's arsenal for the most urgently needed defense equipment, drones, ammunition, armored vehicles. And we had a discussion today about specifying and targeting that assistance where it will have the greatest impact, and we will do so.
Meanwhile, on Sunday, another prisoner exchange took place between Ukraine and Russia, the 68th since the war broke out. According to Zelensky, apart from military personnel, 8 Ukrainian civilians also returned home as exchanges continue on both sides.
Almost 70 inflatable boats have been seized at the Kapitan Andreevo border checkpoint in Bulgaria since the beginning of this year. For the second year in a row now, Bulgarian customs officers, at the request of the United Kingdom, have been stopping inflatable boats at the border with Turkey. Those boats are used for trafficking illegal migrants across the English Channel.
Установено е, че подобни вид лодки се използват от престъпни организации, които се занимават с нелегален трафик на мигранти през Ла-Манша.
The boats are often delivered in multiple shipments, carrying different parts, and are then assembled together by the receiver.
Върват с други пратки, към кухи фирми към Европа, които са без установени адреси и се разтоварят някъде в Европа и след това се събират лодките, двигателите, поясите.
Bulgarian authorities say the boats are produced in Turkey by unknown companies and are used for the sole purpose of migrant trafficking. In 2024, nearly 37,000 people arrived in the UK using these boats. In a bid to control the influx of immigrants, London is funding Bulgarian authorities to increase the odds of those boats being captured before they ever hit the sea.
Освен това, ни е дадена безвъзмездна помощ в размер на 600 000 лева в вид на оборудване, инструменти, ендоскопи, газанализатори, подемна техника.
Bulgarian customs officers say their cooperation with the UK has saved thousands of migrant lives who tragically die each year while attempting to cross the channel. A UK analysis says Sophia's work has also enabled them to inflict over 18 million euros in damages on organized crime groups.
This photo has made the rounds in Greece. A man on a motorcycle evacuates a ship as forest fires approach. The scene took place last week in Patrias, a port city in the grip of flames. Fires have a significant impact on wildlife, leading to increased mortality and injuries. They also cause displacement of animals, loss of habitat, pollution, and disruption of ecosystems. Associations have come to the rescue of animals in Patrias, offering them shelter and veterinary care.
We've been assisting some local wildlife partners with things like transport of animals, wildlife who have been injured. So things like tortoises that might be out and suffer from burns and now need care. So we've helped to move those animals, relocate them where they can get care and be recovered in a sanctuary environment.
The associations have taken in street dogs and cats injured in the fires while waiting to find them permanent homes. The issue is also economic. The association plans to plant new colonies of bees to support the recovery of beekeeping.
There's been many beekeepers in apiaries that have been affected by these wildfires. So hives that have been burned, lost, and destroyed. And so that's people's livelihoods. And it's also impacting things like honey production. And it's also, and bees are struggling because their forage, the plants that they eat, have also burned.
In 2022, 43% of burnt areas in the EU were Natura 2000 natural protected areas, reservoirs of biodiversity.
For the first time in over a decade, snow unexpectedly coated the Polish Tatra Mountains in August. It happened as the temperature in the mountainous region dropped to negative 2.9 degrees Celsius overnight into Sunday. The snow was accompanied by fog and strong winds as cold Arctic air moved into Poland.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go.
SpaceX on Sunday launched a commercial resupply services CRS-33 mission to the International Space Station from Cape Canaveral in Florida, the Dragon spacecraft's 50th time. Following stage separation, the first stage landed on the A shortfall of Gravitas drone ship stationed in the Atlantic Ocean. According to SpaceX officials, the Dragon spacecraft is expected to dock on Monday autonomously after an approximate 28-hour flight. The CRS-33 will then deliver around 2,268 kilograms of food, supplies, and experiments to astronauts on board the ISS. Some 50 different scientific studies critical for future human space exploration are to be conducted on the mission. The Dragon spacecraft is expected to return to Earth no earlier than December.
Orbit insertion.
For the next 29 days, Romania becomes the most important stage of universal music. Over 4,000 musicians from 28 countries and over 100 concerts in Bucharest and other cities of the country will mark 70 years since the death of George Enescu.
It's a special edition because, as always, we present the music of George Enescu in context of all the other composers that we present. It's so important for us to be able to offer the world this beautiful moment in which the music that speaks directly to our heart is shared by all those that are able to come to the concerts.
Each time I come here, I feel like at home. It reminds me also of my country, which is just close, where I was born. And this year I will perform with Maestro Macellaro, Khachaturian violin concerto.
The opening concert featured the orchestra and choir of the George Enescu Philharmonic and the renowned Serbian-French violinist Nemanja Radulovic.
We also organize, with the help of our local partners, concerts in more than 15 cities in Romania, and I would like to mention here Timișoara, Cluj-Napoca, Sibiu, Constanța with our partners from the SEAS Festival, and also in Brăila, Arad, Satu Mare. So all over Romania you will be able to witness and to listen to great music, to Enescu's music.
The composer, violinist and the author of the Romanian Rhapsodies. George Enescu is considered the greatest Romanian musician of the 20th century.